What's going on, guys? It is 0 hour, and we are back with you, and we're getting ready to, for the next several days, be posting lots of interviews with the fighters that you're going to be seeing on Aries 10, and that goes down July the 8th from the world famous Cotton Eye Joe. That's next Friday night. Got my man Jeff Hobbs here with us. Jeff, today we're joined by one of my favorite female fighters. She always brings it, and it's always a pleasure to work with as well. Mary Rosenbeck going to be joining us. She's going to be fighting in the main event of this one coming up next Friday for our first ever women's championship. So I'm excited to talk to her. How about you, my man?
No, absolutely. It's been a long time since we've seen the mare bear in the cage. It's she's kept us wanting and wanting more. It's been a long time, Mary. So excited to man. You're gonna come back. You come back with a bang, don't you? Main event, title fight. Let's do it. If you're gonna do it big, huh?
Exactly.
Hey, well, we appreciate the time, Mary. I know that this is probably your last hard week of training as you kind of tighten up your game as we get ready to cut weight and all that good stuff next week. You're going to be fighting Samantha Buttery in the main event for our first ever women's championship at 145 pounds. It's been about a year and a half now since last you competed, October of 2020. So, about a year and a half off. Where you been over that time? What's been going on?
At home. Gaining weight, eating. Something I don't really get to do when I fight. Yeah. After I had surgery, I gained like 40 pounds.
Oh wow, I hear you. I feel your pain. So in the past fights, you've been fighting out of Jeff Powell's team down in Alabama. This fight will be your first one under the Militia MMA with Tom Galicchio in the gang. Let's talk a little bit about that. What's the training been like over there with Tom? Those guys are always show up in great shape, ready to compete, and thus far undefeated out there.
I know, it's really great. Actually, he's really helpful. He always focuses on the fighters while training everyone else. I go to the morning classes, so it's a lot different, but he still puts in that time with me. So, and then I got Jeff on Saturday, so it's a win-win.
Yeah, so Jeff Powell's still a great striking coach. I'm sure, in your fights that we've seen in the past, to me, your striking has always been kind of your bread and butter. You get in there, getting these brawls and just kind of outlast these girls. Has your ground game been coming along there training with Tom?
Oh, definitely. Like training with Tom, I only got some jiu-jitsu, so I wouldn't get beat on the ground, and now I feel like I can tap anybody out. Just training with him. He's a great coach. He explains every detail just to a T.
Jeff, we've had a couple of those militia guys grace our cage over the last couple shows. George Carpenter, Josh Mackey, both have looked very good. And, Mary's got maybe a little pressure, not a lot of pressure, but a little pressure, I would think, to kind of keep the ball rolling with those militia cats. What you got for Mary, Jeff?
Yeah, you mentioned that. Are militias are they undefeated right now with us?
Yeah, I think they're undefeated overall. I think they're 4-0.
Yeah. So no pressure, Mary. Tim says no pressure. They're undefeated right now.
Well, I'm just gonna go in and have fun. So
yeah. Well, I noticed, Mary, you went to scratch your head. You went to scratch your head, and I noticed right here there was a little gun right there, man. So have you been? Yeah, that's what I'm talking. So you've been lifting the weights too. You've been hitting it hard on the weights. I can tell.
I had a personal trainer, Ashton. She helps me twice a week, and then I work out every day. Besides that, and then we believe in push-ups.
I believe in push-ups. So is my 12-year-old. I catch him like every time I turn around, he's doing push-ups. I'm like, what do you do? And he's like, well, you got to be doing something, Dad. You got to be doing something. So I guess push-ups is what you do in the in-between.
He's a little boss already.
He's trying to be. He sees a little cut in his chest now, and he won't put a shirt on now because he sees the
baby oil it.
Yeah, he's the smallest cut. But you talked about your jiu-jitsu. Let's dive into that a little more. You said before you had just enough jiu-jitsu to survive and not get tapped, but now you're seeing the offensive side of it. How has that been? Jiu-jitsu players are hardcore. So how has that been to transition from really concentrating on striking to diving deep into jiu-jitsu?
It's different. I'm a lot more aggressive, which is weird for me. So, like, when I hit the ground, I'm attack instead of just, well, what are you going to do? So,
well, I don't want to give away any game plans or anything, but everybody I see, Michael, I talk to a lot of players, they have their move, their submission. What have you found is kind of your favorite submission?
I like the back. Anything taking the back, just controlling it. It's my favorite.
All right, man. Well, I'm excited. For a fan standpoint, yeah, I'm just like everybody else. I want you to go in there and just do what Mare Bear does and just swing for the fences and knock people out. And you take it just as much as you give it too. You know, and, you know,
That's
it,
a lot with the face, you know.
yeah, it's an all-out war, but it's just a war when you're in there. But I am excited to see the transition and the transformation into some of your ground game. So hopefully, you get to show some of that off.
I hope so. I like to keep it standing though, between me
I
and
know
you.
you do. I know you do.
Mhm.
It's not just between me and you. Everyone knows you
Yeah.
like to keep it standing.
Everybody
Man.
knows.
Yeah. Hey, let's talk about this fight then. So we got Samantha Buttery up front of you. She's 3-0 coming into this. I think there's no doubt you'll be her toughest opponent to date. Certainly her most experienced opponent to date.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you see in Samantha's game that you need to watch out for? I think the book on her, she's obviously comes from a good grappling team at Pedigo submissions, blue belt in BJJ. So one would think that she's also going to be very, very comfortable on the ground. I think this fight, the way this fight plays out on the feet, will be the indicator. Honestly, I think that she hasn't been able to show a whole lot of striking up to this point. You obviously have. She has shown good submission ability. You're leveling up in that area. What are some of the things that you feel like you need to watch out for with Samantha Buttery here?
Just going to the cage and controlling the cage. I think if I can control the cage, then it's good for me.
Yeah. Being able to control those positions in the clinch, I think, is a big part of it. And this being a 5-round fight, if I'm not mistaken, this is your first time going 5 rounds. Is that right, or have you been 5 before?
No, this is the first time.
And I believe it is hers as well. So I'm very, very curious to see how both of you all perform if we get into those championship rounds 4 and 5, where things start to really make a difference as far as your conditioning goes. Have you changed anything up in your training to be ready to go potential 15 minutes?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see with Tom. So on Tuesdays, we do a whole circuit, and it'll kill you. Like, it's crazy, but it's amazing. And my cardio has jumped. Like, I'd get tired after the first round, and I can do the whole thing without wanting to quit. So that's different. And then we Shark Tank on Thursday and Saturday, so that makes a huge difference. So I'm not doing just 3 or 4 rounds. I'm going like an hour at a time.
Oh, wow.
So love the way he does pretty much everything.
That's one of those catalysts, I think, in this fight where we've not gotten to see either of you stretched out beyond that. So it could make a huge difference. Let's talk about some goals. What are this is a 1.5 year layoff you're coming back from already. This is your 10th fight though. So you've got quite a bit of experience. What are some short and long term goals? Is there anything that you're looking to accomplish over the next year per se? Maybe a pro turn, defending that title potentially. What are your plans, if you will, in a perfect world?
Well, okay, perfect world. Short term is I'm going to go in here, win, have probably 2 more, and then go pro. Yeah. Hopefully within the year. That's up to like Tom, me, whatever we agree on. And then long term is I just want to keep fighting. I kind of just want to like run people over so I don't get hurt anymore.
Right.
So I can prolong that career. So just coming out a little more aggressive because I am really sweet and nice when I get in there. And I just need to find that switch. I still haven't found it, but hopefully with this one I'll just flip it.
Hey, I've seen you bite down on that mouthpiece a few times myself, and you weren't so sweet there during a few of those moments. But I definitely get what you're saying. So of course, it's a main event. If I'm not, is this your first main event?
Yes.
Any added pressure there, knowing you're at the top of the card? Got to wait a little bit longer to fight, or do you like it?
It is. I don't like waiting so long. I'd rather be number 1, get it over with. Yeah. But I do like being main event. I don't mind fighting. I get in there and throw with anybody. It's just having people watch me. Yeah. That's probably the biggest part coming back. Is to be a long time since I've had so many people's eyes on me. I'm half naked, I don't really care for it, but it's either way, just to go in there and have fun. I think it's gonna be great.
Now,
I'm just to be back in there.
If I'm not mistaken, if I saw on your social media, you tied the knot here recently, so congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Sitting right here watching me.
Nice.
Yeah, make sure I mess it up.
Well, hello to her as well. We've got this title fight coming up here next week. If you've got anything you can tell the fans that are on the fence about coming out to watch this, and what would you tell fans they can expect from a main event title fight with Mare Bear?
Oh, y'all should really come out. This is going to be, it's my first fight back, and I'm feeling pretty violent. I've never been so ready to throw hands with anybody before. It's going to be great. I mean, we go 5 rounds or we go 1 round. Either way, I think y'all should come out and watch this.
Well, I concur. I definitely is something that we've been looking forward to here for a few months, and so obviously we've got it at the top of a fairly good card too. So a lot of action going down next Friday at the world famous Cotton Eye Joe. It's Aries 10 main event, 145 championship for the first time ever. Mary Rosenbeck, Samantha Buttery. You can get your tickets at fightertickswithx.com. You can watch the pay-per-view at combatcast.tv. Before we let you go, Mary, I'm going to let you get some shout-outs where they're due. Any friends, family, training partners, sponsors you want to give some love to, I'll let you do it.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's a special shout-out to Tom and Stephanie. They're the coaches at Militia, and they just kind of took me in. I didn't think he was going to let me fight so soon, so I was really kind of upset about it. And then when he said, yeah, you can fight, I was like, I'm here every day. So that's great. My wife, she puts up with me all the time between weight cuts and then just, being grumpy because I couldn't fight. And then I got a couple of sponsors, but I think I'll save that for later. So.
Okay. Well, hey, it takes and Jeff Powell, the man. That's right.
Hey, you know what? Forget him. Speaking of Jeff Powell, you're an Alabama girl. So before we sign off, I got to throw it out there. You're main eventing in July, and in August, I got to get your prediction. We've got Alabama and Jeff Powell's Trevor Peak versus UFC veteran Kama Worthy in Nashville, Tennessee. Mary, who you got? Well, how do you see that one playing out?
I got Trevor.
I got
Trevor. At least before the 3rd round.
Before the 3rd round. All right. So Mary's put her prediction in.
Trevor by finish.
There you go. Before the 3rd round ends. All right, Mary.
I love it. Well, hey, Mary, I've got to say before I let you go, it is certainly a huge plus having a spouse that is supportive of your career. So shout out to your wife for being behind you. We appreciate her as well. We appreciate you, and thank you so much for joining us here this evening. And we will be seeing you in one short week when you making that weight and get ready to step in that cage and dance. Thank you so much, Mary.
Thank you guys so much.
See you, Mary.
Bye.